For more than 30 years, Johnny Carson ruled late-night television with calm precision. Night after night, The Tonight Show felt safe, polished, predictable. A place where celebrities laughed, stories flowed, and nothing ever truly went wrong. Or so it seemed. What most viewers never realized was how fragile that calm really was. Because behind Carson's easy smile was absolute control, and behind that control was a strict, unwritten code every guest was expected to obey. Sit, smile, entertain, and never forget whose house you were in. But live television doesn't always follow rules. Sometimes egos explode, sometimes tempers snap, sometimes substances take over, and sometimes, in front of millions of watching Americans, a guest completely loses control. When that happened, even Johnny Carson, the most unshakable host in television history, was pushed to his limits. These weren't awkward moments, they weren't funny accidents, they were full-blown breakdowns. Tonight, we're counting down the 7 guests who lost their minds on live TV. Moments so shocking, so uncomfortable, they cracked the perfect illusion of The Tonight Show forever. When Madonna appeared on The Tonight Show in 1987, the studio felt different before she even spoke. She wasn't yet the untouchable icon she would become, but she was already infamous.
What would you
What am I wearing?
Yeah, if I went into a lingerie shop and I wanted to buy one of those for somebody. Now, come on, not for me, but for somebody.
They'd probably...
What would I call it?
It's called a bustier.
A bustier?
Riding the momentum of her Who's That Girl tour, Madonna arrived dressed in black lace and fishnets, projecting confrontation rather than charm. This was not a late-night interview outfit, it was a statement. From the moment she sat down, Madonna flipped the power dynamic. Instead of responding to Carson's gentle prompts, she pushed back. She flirted aggressively. She dismissed boundaries. When Johnny offered subtle innuendo, Madonna escalated it into explicit territory, forcing Carson into an unfamiliar defensive role. The audience could feel the tension growing with every exchange. Carson laughed, but his control slipped. His timing faltered. If Madonna challenged Carson's authority deliberately, Don Rickles did it impulsively and paid for it emotionally. Rickles wasn't just a guest, he was family, one of Carson's closest friends and most frequent visitors. Their chemistry was legendary. Rickles insulted Johnny mercilessly, and Johnny laughed harder than anyone. Audiences loved it because it felt safe, until 1976. The trouble began when Rickles accidentally broke Carson's cherished NBC cigarette box, a symbol of his long reign behind the desk. Carson mentioned it jokingly on air the next night. That should have been the end of it. Instead, Rickles burst onto the set uninvited, dressed in full CPO Sharky Navy uniform. At first, the audience erupted in laughter. Then, Rickles didn't leave. He grabbed the desk, he shouted across the studio, he hijacked the show completely.
Johnny smiled, but the shift was visible. This wasn't planned, this wasn't playful, it was intrusion. The desk wasn't a prop, it was power. Carson played along on camera, but backstage, lines had been crossed. Their friendship survived, but insiders noticed a chill that lingered for months. Even with his closest friends, Carson had limits. When Oliver Reed appeared in 1975 to promote Royal Flash, the problem wasn't defiance, it was self-destruction. From the moment Reed walked onto the stage, it was clear he was intoxicated. His steps were unsteady, his words slurred together, the smell of alcohol reached the crew. Johnny immediately recognized danger. He slowed the interview, he simplified questions, he tried to protect his guest. Reed ignored the structure entirely. He rambled, interrupted, and shifted from charm to hostility without warning. The audience laughed nervously at first, then fell silent. For one of the few times in his career, Carson ended a segment early. It was quiet, professional, and devastating. That appearance followed Reed forever. Hollywood executives didn't see talent anymore, they saw risk. One interview destroyed any remaining chance of American stardom. When Truman Capote appeared on The Tonight Show in 1980, the discomfort didn't arrive with shouting or chaos, it arrived quietly, and that made it far worse. Viewers were expecting the sharp, mischievous mind behind In Cold Blood and Breakfast at Tiffany's. Instead, they saw a man visibly struggling to stay present. His words drifted, his thoughts unraveled mid-sentence. Moments of brilliance flickered briefly, only to disappear again into confusion. Johnny Carson admired Capote deeply. He wasn't just interviewing a guest, he was hosting a literary legend. Johnny slowed the pace, offered gentle prompts, and waited patiently for clarity that never came. Each time Capote veered into strange political remarks or inappropriate tangents, Carson tried to guide him back without embarrassment. But the disconnect only grew more painful. The audience sat in uneasy silence, unsure whether to laugh, applaud, or simply hold their breath. This wasn't comedy, it wasn't provocation, it was decline, unfolding live before millions. Johnny never mocked him, he never cut him off harshly. He protected Capote's dignity until the segment ended, but Capote was never invited back. For viewers who remembered his earlier razor-sharp appearances, the contrast was devastating, a genius fading in real time with nowhere to hide. Shelley Winters didn't fade quietly, she erupted. Already known for her volatile energy, Shelley Winters arrived on The Tonight Show carrying more than stories. One offhand comment from another guest was all it took to unlock years of buried resentment. In seconds, the mood shifted. Winters stood up, her voice rose, accusations poured out, Hollywood's cruelty, betrayal, and ageism spilling into the studio without restraint. Johnny Carson tried to regain control the way he always did, with humor. It didn't work. The laughter died. He shuffled his note cards, his quiet signal of distress, and glanced toward Ed McMahon. The audience felt it. This wasn't playful unpredictability, this was anger, raw and unscripted. With the tension climbing, Johnny made a rare and decisive move. He cut to commercial. When the show returned, Winters had calmed, but the atmosphere never fully recovered. The easy rhythm was gone, replaced by unease. She wasn't banned, her talent and star power were undeniable, but Carson quietly spaced out her appearances. The incident became infamous not because it was funny, but because it shattered the illusion of control, exposing genuine emotion in a format built on polish and restraint. Buddy Hackett was supposed to be safe. He wasn't. He wasn't just a guest, he was a guarantee, a master storyteller whose appearances on The Tonight Show usually meant long laughs and easy chemistry. Johnny barely had to guide him. The audience trusted him completely. That's why the shift was so unsettling. That night, Hackett started normally enough, but slowly the tone darkened, the jokes thinned out, the laughter faded. His stories turned bitter, and his humor became accusation. Instead of playful exaggeration, he began airing real grievances. Names were mentioned, producers and executives were called out. What should have been comedy began to feel like a public reckoning. The audience didn't know how to respond. The laughter stopped, replaced by uncomfortable silence. Johnny Carson tried to redirect, offering lighter questions and safer topics. Hackett ignored them. He wasn't performing anymore. He was venting, and live television was the stage. Carson made a rare decision. He cut the segment early. Not in anger, in concern. Backstage, Johnny wasn't furious. He was worried. Hackett would eventually return, restored to form, but the moment proved something important. Even the most trusted regulars could fracture the format when personal pain spilled into public space. Then came Red Fox, and the collapse was immediate. Fox walked out, exchanged brief pleasantries, and asked one question: could he smoke? By 1975, NBC policy said no. His demeanor shifted instantly. Without argument or build-up, Fox stood up and walked off.
Johnny sat alone, stunned for a heartbeat. Then he recovered. He joked. He moved on. That was Carson's gift, but backstage, the shock lingered. Fox returned years later, but the chemistry never fully healed. The rupture had been too public and too fast to forget. These 7 moments weren't just celebrity meltdowns, they were collisions between human unpredictability and absolute control.